It was good. Yeah, it was like sleeting the whole time. Yeah, it was horrible. A little sore, but it was all good.
Yeah, so we worked with Michael Nicholas yesterday. He's a 16-year-old soccer player. Originally was with Northwest Catholic the last couple of years, but he transferred over to Xavier this year. Just came off of his in-season with Xavier, and now he's really in the midst of all of his club soccer seasons that he goes through between winter and then transitioning into the spring season with his club team before getting back around for another school year. Try to get your elbows up a little higher too.
Yeah, like right up to shoulder height, and then we're out in those positions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I come straight from school. Yeah.
He's kind of in a strength block right now. What you guys did yesterday seemed to be all focused on size and strength. He's in an off-season phase.
To me, he is. Like, I know he classified it as in season, but to me, I think the school seasons are going to talk more than what a club season would look like. Right. And given the fact that he's playing soccer all year long, like, there's going to have to be a point where we have to focus on this stuff. So especially now that he's done with the school season, this is the time to start working on that stuff. And like we've talked about many times during these talks that we have, like, I'm going to continuously look at force plate data. I think me and him were talking about getting him one more lower body day in, because I think he's done the upper about 3 or 4 times, but just with the way it's worked with like practices and having to navigate the club in season stuff.
And the fatigue on his legs from practice.
So we've been trying to at least modify and manage, like, all right, like, we know we have a busy segment coming up, let's just focus upper body and give the lower body a rest so that you could at least prioritize the club season. And then later in the week we've been doing the lower body days, and things have come up or whatever, so we try to at least tailor to him and make sure he's in a good spot. But we talked about doing at least another lower body next week, and then utilizing force plates next Thursday. I think he comes in Tuesday, Thursdays, and we'll see what the numbers look like. But I think for me, I would anticipate a jump in the overall like force output that he tests with, and once we get a look at that, I still think getting him another block of building strength would be more ideal, but we'll see what those numbers show, and we'll kind of keep basing his programs off of that.
Good?
Yeah.
Let me know what you want to start at on the Swiss bar. All right. I think I saw 115 and 125.
That sounds good.
Let me know what you think of the bar height before I put some weight on. I have to lower it if we can. Are we getting you up to 135 on there today?
Last time we said we were going to.
Getting there. Okay. Just 4, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Can't lie, from like 3 or 4 weeks ago, you're moving that like it's light work.
It's definitely different, yeah. The first one was bad.
Does it almost feel like a warm-up to you now for a first working set still?
That was more of a warm-up than like other times.
Do you want to count it as a warm-up, or do you want to count it as a first? How'd that feel, considering we have 4 sets?
Let's do that as a first set.
First working?
Yeah, sure.
Let's see how this is. Maybe we could bump you up a little sooner. Maybe stay here for 2, and then we can go 135 and try that for your last.
Yeah, that sounds good.
In soccer, the eye test is probably not the most important thing, but I think just looking at Michael, if you were to look at him and then you were to put 10 or 12 of his peers next to him, it would be, I think, night and day.
Right. I mean, I know soccer, it's not super important to have like a ton of upper body strength, but to be able to like get in 50-50 battles and to be able to come away with a ball, like, I think he's definitely setting himself further away from his own competition.
Like, I don't know about Michael's soccer ability, like what his skill level is, but it's quite clear that his athletic ability is going to be able to carry him pretty far.
For sure.
Think we go for it? Make the jump?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, at least try to go for as many as you can. I'll help on that last like 1 or 2 if we need, but I think you're getting it.
Alrighty. Say FSA
Just
can
bundle
get
up,
crazy.
throw a pair of leggings on, an Under Armour. You'll be all right. A couple mittens. You're doing all right, Sarah. Let's go, finish strong.
Especially now that he's coming in here still twice a week. A lot of the clients, like when they, are in season, obviously the main part of the season, you want them to be out on the field doing their thing, but at least trying to sneak in once a week if they can. Now that he's in the middle of a club season, like you'd see, any other athletes, you start to see him veer off, and maybe they're here once a week, maybe they're here once every other week. Like, he's still coming in twice a week during all this stuff that's going on. So
also driving an hour from Middletown.
Yeah, so I mean, he's not making any excuses, and he's finding the reasons to show up, and he's putting in the effort when he's here. So it's definitely going to start to translate and show the more he's putting this effort in. Thinking with her sledding, probably setting it up down the middle here. Two. All right, you ready? 10-second count. There you go. Good job. Is that first round or second?
Second.
So that's already another set body weight compared to last time, right?
Yeah.
Good job.
Thanks.
You looking at schools yet? Like colleges?
Not like crazy, but I'm going to some camps.
Just to like get some looks and get
Yeah.
your
Just
name out there?
yeah.
Good to start early.
Yeah. The summer really heat up, and the spring season.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
I guess it seems clear to me that we're prioritizing his high school season and not his club team seasons,
For
correct?
sure, yeah, and that's like I was asking him yesterday, and it didn't seem like he had really done much in terms of looking at schools. It's of course pretty early still too, so I think for him it's just going to these showcases and getting some looks with all the scouts and all the recruiters, so that when he gets to that point, like he's already got his name out there. And from what I've heard and understood, it's like if you can get your name out there early, like they show up to these things and they know the guys. They might be catching a couple glimpses at some other kids, but they know who they're coming to see.
Right.
Good, last one. Everything you got. You have one more here? Rower? Sets of 6 here, Mike, from what I remember.
Yep.
Nice. What do we think of the weight?
I think I could go up.
50?
Sure.
You ready? Last round for you.
Like, you got this done pretty fast.
Yeah.
I looked at Kyle and I said, intensity is what makes gains. You could have the best program in the world. You could have the best coaches in the world, the best facility in the world. You could even show up 5 days a week. But if your intensity is trash,
Yeah.
you're never going to make any gains. And his intensity is absolutely there 100%.
Even the times that I would ask him, I'm like, hey, like, what do you think of that? Like, you can kind of tell that he was hesitant in going up, but I think just me asking him planted the thought in his head, like, hey, maybe I should push a little bit.
Right.
Look at those, Mike. One more to go. Take 2. I think it was the close grip dumbbell bench that we had. Like, that last rep, it was definitely shaky at the end, but he still did it.
Oh boy.
You got it. And he even said it afterwards. He was surprised he was able to do it. But that's the thing, like being able to push these kids in here, like they're not going to say no to a challenge, and that's what we're there to ultimately guide them through. So he's definitely been receptive to all of that. But even when you noticed it was pretty quick yesterday, like I think that was probably the fastest and most efficient he's gone through that program, in the 3 or 4 times that he's done it. Nice. Made it.
Yep.
Probably didn't think you were going to either, huh?
No.
You were doubting yourself.
Yeah, not after the last one.
Good job.
Thanks.
I'll take care of these.
You got it?
Yep.
Thank you.
Do you have the jammer arms coming up next?
Yep.
What do you need on those?
30.
30?
Yeah.
Like, what are you really coaching in a place like this? The real, like, foundational pieces of what makes this place like Relentless special. And I, like, immediately my brain was going to, like, it's gotta be about mentality. It's gotta be about, like, this intensity and this, like, this focus and direction, almost more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a lot of maybe the younger athletes realize what they're training in here. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, they're developing physically, but I think more than anything else, they're developing themselves mentally as an athlete.
I think Pete's really been saying it a lot more recently, but we're not just training these kids to be beasts on the field and beasts in the weight room. Like, it's more of the tangible life skills that you could take with it. Showing up, being on time, like making those habits more of a routine, and actually taking a proper warm-up instead of going through the motions and just saying like, hey, it's just another day, I'm young, I can get away with this stuff. You 2 sets in already?
Yeah.
What do we think of the weight? Is it still a good spot?
I think so, yeah. It got harder in the second one.
Okay.
So,
What was it like before? Were you doing 25s before and then you started working up to 30 like you're doing today?
yeah.
Okay. And then we already talked. I think if we could get
one more lower body in.
Yep.
That'll probably give us a good spot to maybe get you on the force plates again.
Okay.
See what those numbers look like, and
Yeah,
then
sure.
see what we kind of need to pivot to next.
All right, cool.
And then we'll go from there.
That sounds good.
Being able to push the boundaries a little bit, it's going to be uncomfortable, but it's like all these decisions that these kids are making, like these are life skills that are going to also start to translate, whether it's, in life at school, in a future career at the end of the day, like all those little decisions and all the things that we're training here, yeah, it's good for, sport and for overall performance, but everything else outside of that should help translate all of the life skills when it comes to just regular day-to-day life.
Yeah. Thanks.
Like just watching him yesterday, the TRX push-up.
The atomic push-up.
Yeah. And the vascularity and the development in his upper body is just like, you're 16 years old, and I thought to myself, there's not many 16-year-olds out there that look like that.
No.
And I don't think he quite understands that yet.
No, he's definitely top 1%.
Right. Right.
So, I remember him when I was here as a clinical student at the time, and even at that point, I would have thought he was probably where he is now. I'd be curious to see what his force plate data shows as a baseline to see where he compares, but the stuff he's doing in here, it definitely, shows a difference, and he's definitely setting himself away and separate from others that are in here just to kind of give like a comparison.
Yeah.
But
Good job, Mike.
Thanks.
Do you feel up to doing some conditioning work, or do you want to finish with that?
Yeah, sure, I'll do some.
Maybe we finish with the ski erg.
for me, I wanted to get him back in and just get acclimated to, rebuilding strength and getting him back to a spot where he needs to be. Especially being in season, you lose all that strength. So I asked him, I'm like, hey, based on what we did this past program between the upper and lower, is there anything that you'd like different? I know he's still doing, the in-season club stuff, and I figured he'd get some level of conditioning in with that, but, any athlete could never, not have enough conditioning. So to me, like, I improvised on the fly, like it wasn't in his set program, but to give him some other things to do to kind of fill that 1 hour and maximize the time that he has, like, why not throw him on the skier, give him, the conditioning that he's looking for, and almost give him a taste of what's to come in his next block. That decision right there for him is, if he's at minute 75, he's got to push through 15 minutes of that game. Like, that decision right there is going to really enhance and help what he's looking at for that final bit of a game.
That moment of like, hey, you want to do 15 minutes on the ski erg? That's minute 75.
Right, because we all have come across situations, like even for myself, basketball, like the last 5 minutes of a game when I'm like depleted of all energy and I feel like I have nothing left in the tank, you still muster up some energy to finish the game and go 110%.
But if you don't practice that situation in the gym, the way it happened yesterday, it's probably harder to do that in the game.
For sure, it's totally different.
What I'm thinking here, why don't we go 250 meters? We're gonna go 3 consecutive times, but once you finish the 250, keep an eye on the time that it says for you to complete the 250. Take that time, multiply it by 2 to get your rest break. All right, we'll go 3 times. All right, okay.
What are the goals for Michael going forward, at least in the short term, and what are your plans, and where do you see him going?
So I think for him right now, our plan is to at least test him on Thursday. I'll probably have another strength block programs for him just to begin. If we need to pivot out of that, I don't really see why we would kind of veer off from that. Right now, we're probably doing a lot of bilateral work, so maybe making it more like, staggered stance or like single leg movements and trying to progress him along the continuum there. Or like if we're giving him just sagittal plane work, like giving him more frontal plane and transverse so we get all planes of movement. When you're on the field, you're not playing in one dimension, like you're going through a bunch of different planes. So I think setting them up in terms of building a good solid foundation of strength to go off of is where my mind is going in the short term. And then as we start to look at like, the longer term picture, like similar kind of flow, like look at force plate data, see what that shows us, and when we're ready to transition into more of like a preseason power block, like we'll move them into that stuff, and then ultimately in season we want them peaking at the right time. So just kind of going along the lines of the periodization and just respecting, you know, the science behind everything, because science is just going to tell us everything. So that's what we're going with.
Awesome.